Hello and welcome back to this Saturday night SportsRunDown Betalong. How are you getting on, Gary?
Yeah, good, LB. Good. Just calming down after the Champions League final. How about you?
Yeah, I'm the same, yeah. And if anyone who sees them a little bit rosy looking, it's nothing to do with the Champions League itself. It's got a little bit too much sun earlier in the day. So, yeah, what did you make of the final, Gary? It was an interesting match. Started very well, but I've kind of lost its way a bit, maybe.
Yeah, I thought the first half was decent, especially the first half of the first half. So, the kind of first 25 minutes or so, there was very good play. It was kind of attacking end to end. I was hoping that would keep up for the whole game. But half-time kind of spoiled it then. And when the teams come out in the second half, obviously Chelsea were happy enough just to sit in and frustrate City didn't really have much attacking threat going forward. They weren't the usual selves. I thought Reece James had a very good game in.
I think he was very good.
Right back. He kind of kept Sterling quiet all day, and like I mentioned the midweek, and I didn't back it. So for anybody who's watching in and hasn't seen our Euros preview, I mentioned Kante for France as being the player of the tournament, and he was 50-1. And the way he played tonight, like if he plays like that, I think France are definitely going to win a World Cup. And I think people are actually starting to realise his word, even on BT Sport afterwards. It was probably one of the first things that all the pundits said was, Kante and how well he played. And yeah, I think, I'm going to back that now. Once we get off this stream. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Champions League final. Anyway, I said decent. I think it was better than the Europa League final. But the second half was a little bit boring.
I thought I'd agree with you. Kante was very good. Reece James was man of the match for me. I think he was everything he did. It was a great intervention.
Sorry, Liam, you're a little bit low there. Don't know whether there's something wrong with your mic, maybe.
Not sure.
Maybe we can check it. But no, it's still a little bit low. But yeah, I think, Joe, it was a decent advertisement for the Champions League. If you're again decent for England as well, like they had 7 or 8 players.
Yeah, I think 5 or 6 of them were.
Game.
Yeah, it was good for them to have him playing, but I thought Foden was very, very poor. I thought Stones was quite poor. I don't know. I wouldn't have been delighted if they were.
Oh yeah, Stones was. I didn't think Stones had a good game at all. But I think Foden, he had patches of the game. Particularly, there was like a 10-minute period in the second half, where he kind of came into it a bit. But yeah, I think he'll be disappointed. But I don't think you can expect a player that young to come in and take the game by the scruff of the neck, especially when the other players around him aren't really playing bad. I think when Guardiola looks back, and it's easy to say now, but I think leaving Fernandinho out is just, that's a rookie mistake by the manager. Fernandinho, he does cynical fouls, he gets away with them. I think Liam, you're a little bit low.
Yeah, it was good for them to have playing, but I thought
a bit of an echo there, Liam.
Very, very
but yeah, I think that overall it was a decent game. But I think that Guardiola didn't get his tactics right. I know you were critical of Guardiola as well, so
yeah, we'll come back to that game just because we've got another game on live, so we'll circle back to the Champions League final a few times. I do think Guardiola lost him that match tonight. I think this team selection was very, very strange and backfired exactly the way you'd have expected that team selection to backfire. But are you watching the LA New York game at the same time here?
Yeah, so I have it on here. Seems to be a decent enough opening. Again, end to end. So I've backed the draw here. I've actually done a double of the draw and over 9.5 corners. So I'm quite happy with the way things are going here with just kind of it being even enough game. As I said, Vela is just on the attack here. Has gone out for a corner. He looked like a dangerous enough attack. I think it was Rossi he was crossing it into. But yeah, have that game on now. So a draw is a bit of a weird one to be backing, but
it's a tough one to cheer on.
Yeah, like I think I was actually tempted to bang back New York because they were something like 4-1. I think that underestimates their or overestimates their chances. So yeah, I was going to back that, and then I settled on the draw just to be safe. So how about you? What I think you see you have a bet up on screen there.
Yeah, I've got Rossi to score. It was between him and Vela. I just think that he was a good bit higher odds. And like you sort of said it there, Vela was crossing to him. He gets plenty of chances. Vela was about 2-3 and he was sort of 6-4. So went with him anytime both teams to score in Los Angeles to win, and then over 3.5 goals and 9.5 corners. So pretty long odds overall, but I just think that yeah, I can see your point. New York definitely did look overpriced. I just think that LA are getting back into the run of having their two forwards playing at the same time. I kind of had a feel that as the match wears on, they might have a kind of a purple patch and they'll score a couple of late goals and do the business. But yeah, it was more of an entertainment bet. That's why I've added in all the other legs. It was a tough game to call, really. And like you said, New York have been getting better and better. So they were outside 4-1 earlier. I saw that too. So yeah, you probably paid a price there. You compromised and went for the draw. They'll probably win now. But,
yeah, probably, yeah. But as I said, I'd be I think that LA might take a lead and then New York might pull them back. That's the way I'm looking at it. But the other game that's on in the MLS as well, I don't know whether you saw, but it's nearing the end now. It's in the 86th minute. But Atlanta were 2-0 up. I actually fancied Atlanta and they were a decent enough price. I think they were 23-20 earlier on today. And they were 2-0 up. And Nashville have just come back and leveled up at 2-2. So there's 4 minutes left, but it's 2-2 in that game. So I'm delighted I didn't actually back Atlanta now because you'd be sick. But obviously an entertaining game if it's 2-2.
Yeah, that guy who scored the 2 for Nashville, Mukhtar or however you pronounce it, he's actually, I quite like him. He's maybe a bit hot and cold, but I mean 2 late goals there to bring him back into it is a entertaining end. Have you seen any of the clips, or I'm sure you have, the clips from the Dome, the Atlanta Stadium for their matches? It looks unbelievable place to watch a football game.
Oh yeah, I've seen that with so actually a guy I went to school with years ago actually used to play for Atlanta. So I tracked them for a good couple of years. Just like one of the seasons there, I think the season they actually won the MLS. I watched nearly every game of theirs because Chris was playing for them. So, yeah, it's a class stadium. It's the same stadium that the Atlanta Falcons play in. Mercedes-Benz Superdome, I think it is. Or it's the Superdome's in LA, but it's definitely Mercedes Arena or something anyway.
Yeah, looks great for it. I love that big kind of, what would you call it? The banner that goes around it, or the kind of the thing that lights up when there's a goal.
Yeah, the screen wrap. Yeah, class.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the ticker tape you'd see at the stock exchange, except
ticker tape. Yeah, I couldn't think of a word for it, but yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah,
like some of the stadiums in the US are unbelievable. Like the new Vegas stadium for the Raiders, and I was also at the Cowboy Stadium with their massive screen that basically goes the length of the pitch. And it's just unbelievable inside. So if you're ever actually in, I think it's Arlington in Texas. So we were in Dallas Fort Worth, and we traveled over to just get the stadium tour. But it's definitely worth your while if you're over that direction.
Yeah, Gary's got a code as well. If you need a discount for the stadium, he gets a back.
I'm bringing up Jerry Jones, asking him for a commission.
Yeah. The game that's on the minute, there's not a huge amount happening now. It's after, as soon as we said it was a good match, it's after slowing right down. I know you're a minute ahead of me or something, but
there's just been a few kind of niggly fouls that have kind of slowed the tempo of the game down. Again, that probably suits my bet.
Oh yeah, big time.
And like when I mentioned a few minutes ago that LA won the corner, that corner actually turned straight into another corner as the ball came in. And a New York City defender headed out for another corner. So that was a nice double whammy to get. So just hope that the corner count can tick along, but that aren't too many chances created. So this might be a pretty boring Betalong if I'm the one that's cheering on no action and just wants the ball to be played around midfield all the time. But
I've gone the other way. I need 4 goals. I need one less corner, but 4 goals, both teams to score. Rossi on the score sheet, and the Los Angeles win. So hopefully
2-2 draw, and the both of us would be laughing.
Yeah. No, I've got Los Angeles to win as well. So one of us can cash out at that
Oh,
stage.
have you? All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I see that now. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said if it gets close to the end and it's a draw, I'll cash out and we can cheer on LA for the win. Although I have to say, LA don't really appeal to me. I think I prefer Galaxy to LAFC if I was to pick an LA team. They just, I don't know. I don't really like many of their players. I haven't really seen them play very well. So yeah, I wouldn't they're not a team that has grown on me. Whereas New York City, I actually went to a New York City game a couple of years ago, obviously in New York. So in Yankee Stadium, it was a great experience. I actually think they could have been playing at Atlanta that day, but great experience. But the pitch I might actually mention this previously on a bet-along, but the way they kind of cover the outfield for the baseball, they put AstroTurf down on it. So then there's like real grass on the pitch, but there's also AstroTurf. So like if the ball bounces on the real grass, it bounces differently on the AstroTurf. So you'll see people play it like they were playing a true ball, and it'd be nicely weighted roll along the normal grass. And then when it hits the AstroTurf, it just picks up speed, and it beats the player's run or whatever. So it was really odd seeing especially the away team weren't able to judge bouncing balls or anything like that very well. So I think it's a big advantage, like home field advantage, because obviously the New York players would be semi-used to it.
Yeah. It's mad the amount of money that's got. Oh, it's a good chance there. Fluffed the lines. You probably saw it a while ago, but Vela had it was a good ball into Vela there, but he didn't make the most of it.
They're starting to open it back up now there. New York had a good chance there. So the attack down the left-hand side, crossed the ball into the box, and the central defender actually put in a great tackle to clear it. So and then off that, LA broke down the other end. The ball's just gone out for a throw, just kind of around the 18-yard box area. So it seems to be going back to the way it started with attack versus attack.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of attack versus attack, back to the Champions League final, there was a couple of chances City had, maybe the middle and late in the first half. They didn't really produce shots or anything, but they were just kind of half chances. I think that was the closest they really got until very late on. There was the Phil Foden one that I think Rudiger came across and tackled him pretty impressively. There's a couple of balls that nearly made their way into the box. But when you're watching a game like that and the chances aren't taken, you start to think this could be one of those games now that gets very, very dull later on. You know what I mean? If the chances aren't pounced on, it can just kind of fade away.
Yeah, I think City ended the game with just one shot on target. Which
that's right.
I'd say, I'd hazard a guess that if you went back through the last 5 seasons of City games, you probably wouldn't find I don't know about it. One might be an over exaggeration, but I don't think you'd find 3 games where City have only had one shot on target.
If it was 3, they were probably all against Chelsea as well. I feel like
probably.
They're bogey team.
But even against the top teams, they always do create something. But they were very toothless. And I thought that the substitutions were a little bit strange. I didn't think Gundogan was at the races at all. There was a rumor, obviously yesterday or the day before, that he was injured, and it kind of showed in the first half when he got his booking. He had 3 or 4 fouls. Even in the first 10 minutes, he could have been booked. He had 2 fouls straight away. If I was Guardiola, I probably would have taken him off at half time and put on, Jesus or Aguero or somebody more attacking, or brought on Fernandinho and someone else at Jesus and kind of pushed a few players more forward and let Fernandinho sit in the Gundogan role. But I think that was a weird choice of the first sub. I think it was Sterling to come off, and like as
Sterling
much
wasn't
as
great, and I don't particularly like him as a player. But the reason that he didn't have any impact on the game was just how good Reece James was at marking.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, like I mean, you can't fault his effort, his runs.
But even it just was whoever you put on for him was going to go up, stand beside Reece James, and have the exact same outcome that Sterling had. You needed somebody else to come on beside him, so that there's now two players that Reece James has to worry about and give the guys a bit of a chance. I thought that the change was very poor. But I mean, like you said it earlier in the show, that I'm a big critic of Guardiola. And I mean, tonight I just thought, as soon as I saw that team sheet, I thought, what in God's name are they doing? If it made sense to play 10 centre forwards, like everyone would play a load of centre forwards. If it made sense to play all attacking midfielders, everyone would do it. Like the tinkering with that team was just bizarre. And the blondie left back, I can't pronounce his name, is Zinchenko. Like he was absolutely woeful, I thought, today. And I mean, for the goal, he played like a winger. Like Ziyech just got beyond him and he just stopped and just watched him run into the box. The keeper then kind of obviously, how the goal happened, but it was such a strange kind of shuffling of the deck right at the last minute. It seemed to confuse his own players. And then, like you said, the substitutions were weird. I don't think he really knew what to do to change it up. He didn't seem to. Then he brought Fernandinho on later on when the game was kind of drifting away from them. It all seemed very unusual. And needless as well. That's the thing. If there was injuries there, fair enough. But it was just I thought maybe it looked to me like he was trying to outsmart Chelsea and overthought it, and just it backfired, as he has tended to do with every club since he left Barcelona. Oh, that was a good chance there for LA as well.
Yeah, is that the Villa chance you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I have to say, I don't particularly like Chelsea, and I was cheering on City, but I am happy for Thiago Silva.
I was actually the same. I was cheering on City. Probably in honesty, it's because I don't really know any City fans, so I wouldn't have to listen to anybody going on about it. Or I know a few Chelsea fans, and you wouldn't want to listen to them talking about it. So I was definitely cheering on City. City, despite Guardiola. But I mean, it's definitely. I think it's on him that they lost today. And Chelsea. It's you kind of have to begrudgingly accept that they're getting very, very good at winning the Champions League when things don't look like it's going to go their way. We have to give a shout out to PK as well, who was on some of these earlier streams back earlier in the season. And I had called Porto. I thought Porto were a banana skin for Chelsea. And he actually said,
there's a shout for a penalty here. So the ref has given a corner. Actually, it might be given as offside now. So you'll see in a second, there'll be a good ball over top. Villa gets the ball in the box. Defender, Yasin, goes to ground. He definitely gets the ball and toe pokes it out of play, but I think he could have taken Villa first. So the ref on the field gave a corner. They were going to go to VAR, and then the linesman seems to have given an offside decision. So it's probably it's just going to be a free out now. But I'm sorry, it just looked like there was going to be a bit of action there. You were saying PK tipped Chelsea at the start.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as tipped, but he certainly called him out. He said that against Porto, he said their defense was too good and they were just going to grind their way to the final. And I told him he was off his head, but when it was proved that he was on the right side of that call, he called him probably. Well, when would those matches have been, those quarterfinals? Probably back in February, was it? Let me check. Maybe March, but I would have thought February. Oh no, neither. April, in fact. Sorry, 7th of April they played Porto, and that's when he called it. So pretty good going, 2 months.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have thought that Chelsea would have the bottle for it, but I actually thought a lot of their players had very good games today.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned probably all of their defence had good games. You can't fault any of them. Even with Thiago Silva started well, and then when Christensen come on, he played well as well. Now I think City did get a little bit unlucky in that they didn't really get any of the 50-50 decisions. Now, I don't think it was the reason they lost the game, but there was a lot of 50-50 tackles, even, corner decisions, and yellow card decisions. As I said, Jorginho probably should have had a yellow card. I think Aspilicueta could have got a yellow card. And those things have a small bearing on the game, and they kind of add up.
Yeah.
But when I was watching, there was at least 5 or 6 kind of situations where I was like, City have been a little bit unlucky there because they could have got that decision. So yeah, they kind of lost out on the 50-50s. But again, I don't think it was bad reffing. It was just the rub of the green that you need to win in finals,
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They didn't get the rub of the green. I'd 100% agree with that. I do think, though, that with probably the most expensively assembled squad ever in football after PSG, I'd imagine, I'm the most lauded coach in modern football. You should be able to adapt to that. I mean, it wasn't like they got chapped, but little things didn't quite go their way, and I thought the players didn't react very well. We talked about it on the Euro show, so for anyone who didn't see that, we did a Euros preview during the week, and it's up on YouTube and Facebook if you do want to go back and catch up on that. But we said it about England and Belgium as 2 kind of bottling teams, and I thought, the 2 players that the way that team was set up today, it was Foden and De Bruyne that really needed to take the game to Chelsea the way City had lined up, the way Pep had put them out there. And the 2 of them kind of shrank away. I know De Bruyne went off injured, but I think he had no real impact on the game before that. And I'm not sure if...
I think it was easy to mark him out of the game, though, because, as I said, you had Gundogan holding. Foden... Foden's best kind of moments came when he was moved to the wing. So when Foden was playing in the middle, he didn't really get involved in the game. So it was kind of, City were relying on De Bruyne to do a lot. And, he was getting the ball 35 yards from goal with nobody really ahead of him. So I agree with you, if you're De Bruyne and you want to be getting Ballon d'Ors and things like that, you have to be able to overcome that and, take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Mm-hmm.
But I do also think that, to expect a player to do it on his own against the likes of Kante, Jorginho, they're no mugs in terms of defensive midfielders. So it was probably a little bit too much to ask. It goes back to, I think Guardiola just got the tactics wrong, especially the starting 11 wrong. You would have saw in one of our WhatsApp groups the bet I sent in, just because I did a bet earlier on, a bet builder, and I had Fernandinho to be booked because I just assumed he was nailed on to be starting, and obviously he's nailed on to put in a few tackles as well. So I was like, right, 15-8 for him to be booked is a decent bet.
Yeah.
And then when one of the lads responded saying he wasn't starting, I was shocked. I was like, is he injured? Looked up injury reports. He wasn't injured. It's just seems like a strange decision to make in a game of that significance, when, especially, it'd be different if it was Man City versus Liverpool in December in the Premier League, but and you've got a half the season left. But when it's end of season, decider, you need to have your player there. See, James McCann has a comment in here on YouTube asking where Slats is. I think we're asking ourselves the same question, James.
He just made a ghostly appearance there for us.
Yeah, I think he's having some technical difficulties, but thanks for joining us anyway, James. Let us know if you have any bets on for the evening.
Too many Bulmers throughout the day, I'd imagine, is the technical problem he's having there, trying to figure out how to get on screen. Are you with us now, Slats? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
A small bit of sunshine and things start falling apart. Cider comes out.
I was just waiting to be asked for it. Feeling a bit needy. Once the viewers want me, I'm here.
Just sitting in the background waiting to be called out. Where's David gone? And then you just, enter stage right.
Ready and waiting.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, James, as well. Familiar looking name now. Welcome aboard. Hopefully you've enjoyed that pretty shit Champions League final earlier, and if you have any comments on it, let us know.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe as well, James. the most important thing. LA are on a good attack here. Oh, good save by the keeper. They've had a good bit of a good spell of possession. That was, I think your mate Rossi had a nice shot there. The keeper did well to save. Although I think I would have given him offside. So lads, I don't know. We've been talking a little bit in the lulls in this game about the Champions League. Did you get to watch it?
I only caught a few highlights of it now myself, but yeah, I was happy with Chelsea taking it just as the kind of underdogs, and with City ramping home in the league, I was happy enough to see Chelsea win the Champions League. I don't know if you were
controversial.
That's waited to see who won, and then read
up
on
I was up for them. I backed them actually.
Yeah,
that's the team I was going for, the winners.
Yeah, it was definitely from a personal fan point of view. It was a lose match for me. Didn't really want to see either of them win it, but yeah, like I said before, I'm not sure if you caught it stats before you came.
No, that's not how finals work. One team has to win.
I feel like when I'm in a final, or my teams are in a final, they're just lose type of setups. But yeah, City. I would have been cheering on City myself just because I don't really know any City fans. So I wouldn't have had to listen to anybody afterwards. But
reasonable.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Sorry, Slats, it seems like you have an old fangirl here in James McCann. So he's just commented in YouTube saying that Slats is the only reason that he tunes in. So, James, you want to DM us your address? We'll get some sort of card sent to you from Slats if you love him that much.
I'm willing to sign
his match worn T-shirt, whatever he's wearing there now. He'll
in any member.
Yeah.
He's moved on to slagging Liam's Tash, so I think we'll eject him from the comments.
I don't think I love can be described as a slag. I'm not sure what you're used to, Gary. But,
I think the love is very much sarcasm.
Well, let us know, James, in the comments if it's sarcasm or not.
Well, I suppose not just James, all the other viewers. I think we'll have to get a poll in to see whether the Tash is loved or not by our viewers.
Yeah, well, it's staying anyway. I get enough abuse in my personal life for it that a few anonymous online comments aren't going to change my mind on it. But you're still watching this LA game, Gary. It's heating up slightly on my slow feed here.
Yeah, there's a player down injured now at the minute on my screen, so not much going on. But so Slats, you've joined late. Liam has a bet builder that combines about 50 different markets, but he needs 4 goals, so it's not going too well. Still 0-0 after 40 minutes. But I have a bet that is a draw in the match overall and over 9.5 corners. So I think there's been 3 corners so far, so we need that to tick along. But obviously, still being 0-0 after 40 minutes is decent for my bet.
I think I said it last week. Or maybe the week before, it must have been that like every MLS game feels like an absolute goalorama, and most of them seem to have plenty of goals, and the ones that we've kind of tracked ourselves or the ones that we've been live for have been, not the highest scoring games. A lot of kind of 1-0s and 1-0s.
Yeah, we've definitely had a bit of bad luck with those. Like, there's 3 games kick off at 8 and we cover the 8:30, and there's 7 goals in each of the ones above, and then we're sitting there kind of crappy 0-0 draw. So
yeah, I think the last one we had was a 1-1 draw, but the 2 goals came within 3 minutes of each other, so we still had like 87 minutes of nothing, and just that flurry of goals. And we've had a couple of 1-0s and that. And this game, like, I was absolutely expecting a first half goal, and back it's the same. And that hasn't come to fruition and doesn't look like it's going to. But I don't know, maybe the second half, it kind of feels like one of those games, if a goal comes, plenty more could come after. But
yeah,
seeing as we're heading to halftime without one.
Yeah, I just thought when I looked at the betting earlier on, I thought that the goals markets were terribly priced in this game.
I mean, Vela was 1-2 to score any time. I mean, that's disgraceful.
Yeah, and over 2.5 goals was like 8-15 or something as well. Which, Joe, obviously these can, as you said, Slash, they can turn into goal or atmosphere, but like 8-15 for 3 goals is desperate in my opinion.
Yeah, awful, lads. Definitely looking awful right now.
Yeah. Did either of you see the SerieA promotion game earlier in the week?
I didn't see it.
So it was the Cittadella Venezia game. But you should look it up after. There's a class bit of commentary. The first game had been 1-0. Venezia had won away 1-0 the first leg, and they were losing the second leg 1-0 at home. So it was destined for extra time, but they had a man sent off and were clearly beginning to tire. And then they scored like a 93rd minute goal to tie that match, and then obviously just put them through in total. But it was absolute mental scenes. Like the bench cleared, there was pylons on the pitch. The commentator was going absolutely bananas. Like it was absolutely class. Really good to see. I think it's our first time back in about 20 odd years.
That picture you sent on earlier on is brilliant. I don't know what actually might get up on screen at half time, maybe, if we're able to do that. Yeah, so to any of our viewers watching in, if you fancy a trip to Venice next spring, so next March, April time, we'll be heading there. Liam will get the picture of the stadium up.
We'll probably do it earlier in spring. So I actually said it to a mate of mine you might recognize him from the website, Enzo, who'd be very familiar with all things Italian football related. And he actually pointed out that the tourist trap that Venice becomes in the summer. So he said make sure to get over there earlier in the season, so maybe even February time before the hordes arrive. But yeah,
I'm there whenever. Anyway, it looks class, and as you're getting with Italy, nice food, bit of culture, and some quality football as well. So yeah, I can't wait for it. But as I said, anybody else watching in that fancies it, we'll be doing an SRD tour. Actually, speaking of SRD, I've just brought up on the site the SRD webpage that we've. Actually, it hasn't come up there, so apologies. We'll come back to that in just a moment. It didn't load there, so we'll come back. There must be half time. Zach, the director. Yeah, whoever's in the studio needs to get the bullet. But yeah, so like as we were saying, anybody watching in who's liking the show and likes what we do and hasn't seen our Euro preview, we did a Euro 2020 preview earlier on in the week, which is on YouTube on our channel as well. So if you go onto the channel, you'll see it. Pretty in-depth analysis of all the groups. So who wins each group, who's the dark horse in each group. We go into who wins the tournament overall, top goal scorers, and the player tournament and young player tournament. So we give our thoughts on best bets and things like that. So said if you're interested in Euros or you like what we do, go check that out. There's been some pretty good feedback on it so far, and there's also a lot of special offers. So if you go in, there's a way of getting special offers from our partner William Hill, who have a whole host of different offers at really enhanced odds. So make sure to check that out. Yeah, we have that up on the site now as well on the screen. The Euro preview that Gary had mentioned is up there. So make sure to have a read of that. It's pretty good. We run through the main teams that are in the top of the market for the betting for the Euros outright, and then our thoughts on the various groups and whatnot. So make sure to have a read through that article. Let us know what you think.
Is that the one, LB, that outlines the third place qualifiers and how that piece works out?
It's not in there, but it's linked to it from there. So if you read through it, you'll see the link to it. The complicated hierarchy.
I enjoyed your table, your color-coded table that kind of explains that, because before you produced that for the SRD website, I hadn't seen anything anywhere else online that gave any sort of a explanation that was understandable.
Yeah, that's why I did it, because all the explanations of it are just, depending on which teams, or it'll be like, England will be playing the third from like A/C/D/F. And I thought they were kind of in order. So they'd play A, and if A don't get through, they'd play C. But then I started looking at it on the UEFA side, and that's actually not the case. I thought it was like a playoff between the third place.
Yeah,
so did I initially too.
The rest of the competition was going to pause all the third place teams play against each other, and that's why it had all the slashes through it, like, you know, depending on which of these teams come out victorious against each other.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's just based on. So we actually had it. We touched on it in the Euro preview, and I'm happy to talk about it again because I find it interesting. But you know, anywhere I've looked, a lot of the people that are sort of predicting the Euros, they seem to have given the third place teams to the big nations. But I think it'll go to the teams that are in the softest groups. So I think there could be a few surprises along the way because of that.
And you had an interesting point about the fact that England, if they top their group, they could actually come up against a pretty tricky third place team. Whereas if they come second in their group, they'll face a runner up from, you know, possibly an easier group or an easier team to face, like in that round of 16.
Yeah, that one stood out to me. Definitely, England will be better off finishing. Whoever finishes second in England's group will have an easier run, based on the way the tables are lined up at the minute. Yeah, looking forward to it now. There's probably no real big event on between now and the start of the Euros. I haven't looked at the football calendar, but I'd imagine there's not much on.
Not football-wise, but there is the Epsom Derby, so that's the next thing to be looking out for.
What date is that, Gary?
It's next Saturday. So the Oaks is on Friday, and then the Derby is on Saturday. So got back to a bit of form with the horses today. So anybody who checked out the website last night would have seen a 6-1 winner. So
Nice.
happy with that. So yeah, hopefully you can continue that into next week. Really looking forward to the Derby. I'm actually going to have an article up on the website probably on Monday, which goes through the Oaks. I've done an anti-post bet today for the Oaks. So actually, might just call it out here for anybody who's watching in, give people a sneak preview. But the horse is the Roger Varian horse called Zeyhadah. So Zeyaadah. So I think she has a really good chance
to spell it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how you pronounce that, but yeah, Zeyhadah. She's about 7-1. I think she has a really good chance in the Oaks on Friday. So I think it's the 3:00 race on Friday at Epsom. So anybody who wants to get on that anti-post.
Sorry, just what you mentioned there, Gary. You're doing a lot of great horse racing content at the moment, and you said back to form, but there's been plenty of winners over the last couple of months, and you can see on the screen now we have a dedicated horse racing page. It's predominantly Gary's tips, but they're definitely a profitable, and if it's not profitable, it's certainly a very insightful way to keep up on the racing, and lots of Epsom Derby and Oaks content going up over the last week or so, and the next week as well. So yeah, make sure to check that out.
Not to boast, but I think this month it's over 30 points in profit. So if you backed all of the tips to like a £1 or $1 or €1 stake, you'd be up $30, €30, £30, whatever your currency is. So yeah, this month has been very profitable. The other months I think have either been small profits or around even. But May has been a decent month, and
we're not going to get
into continue that on
beefs with other tipsters. We're not trying to be tipsters, but if you look at other tipster tables on any of the major sites, I mean, 30 points in a month is right up there with the best you're going to get anywhere. So yeah, do make sure it's up an eye.
When you're explaining the units and you go with like €1, $1, I always feel like you should go with €1,000 stakes or 1,000 stakes to explain what people could be winning.
I do feel that when you look at other like tipsters out there, they'll say when when they've had a good month in units, they'll be up. If you put $100 on all my bets, you'd be up $2,500, and then they have a bad month and like not a great month. We're down 4 units, and you're like, okay, well, you're changing it around there.
What I've noticed from the NBA tipping that I track on Twitter on my SRD Twitter page, when they a lot of those odds, a lot of those spread odds are kind of 5 to 6s or 10 to 11 shots. So like, above or below a certain figure, like the bookies are never going to give you even money for it because they're not going to make anything if they give you even money. But if these tipsters kind of get 1 out of 2 right, they kind of say, oh yeah, well, we broke even there last night. And you're like, well, you didn't break even. You lost.
Yeah.
0.2 of a unit or 0.5 of a unit or whatever it was, depending on the odds, but it's never going to be actually breaking even if they're, making 50% of their bets correct.
Yeah, we've talked about that probably for years at this stage, that a lot of tipsters out there are very, very generous to themselves with that cutting up of strike rates and P&L and unit profits, where, it's grand if you're looking at the horses Gary's looking at, it's a 6-1 winner. Yeah, but if it's the difference between evens or 10-11 or 8-11 or 4-5, they always seem to just round it in their favor.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've even talked about just rolling those sort of odds. We talk about rolling an even money shot and 10 even monies starting with a tenner gives you 10 grand. And I think we spoke about if you did 10 to 11 shots, it only gives you what did it work out at?
6,300. 6,300, yeah.
Like crazy. You just kind of, and we've talked about it ourselves, that you just assume a 10 to 11 shot is an even money shot, but compounding those odds over any sort of period, it quickly becomes much, much less than that.
That's where the decimalization really helps, because I hate using decimal odds, but obviously it's easier to spot in a decimal format than it is in a fractional. Because even though I know fractions, obviously went to school and learned fractions, but you still have to do a little bit of maths in your head to go, oh well, what is that like?
I agree.
Whereas with a decimal, it's just plain as day.
But and we've talked about this close to evens. It's like, again, a 4 to 5 shot in fractional terms feels like an even shot, but when you say it's an 80% return versus 100% return, it seems like a much different.
I think everything from 23 to 20 down to about 8 to 11 feels like even money when you're looking at it, and it's absolutely not. Like, the differences are astronomical, especially like you said, if you're accumulating them or
compounding those odds.
Any of that stuff. There's just, by the way, on my feed here for the MLS, the halftime is a round up of all the best goals of the SerieA this season. And my God, there are some absolute crackers.
I'm actually watching the exact same thing.
You're watching it on Free Sport?
It's unreal. That's why when you were having that at the start of the initial conversation, I was just mesmerized. I think it was Immobile that stuck one in the top corner.
Yeah.
Or not, sorry, Insigne it was.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That Cristante goal is unbelievable as well. Some of them are just, great entertainment. I'd watch highlights of goals all night long. But the odds are just, it's so easy to kind of just round them up in your head and then cut yourself, shortchange yourself really when you're rolling it.
That's it. Yeah, there's definitely room to deceive yourself with those types of odds.
Because I think we looked at it, and if you're doing 10 to 11s, you need a 58 and something like 58.5% strike rate to break even. So a lot of the tipsters, especially on the other side of the Atlantic, who they focus on more or less even money shots, they'll advertise a 62% strike rate like it's really impressive, and it's not. Like, it's just about creeping into profits. It's an interesting one. I actually looked up, by the way. I took all the games. I'm just doing some playing around with the Euro stuff, and I'm trying to see, can I kind of formalize it in any way, just because I don't want to get to the 10th of June and just start punting my rocks off on whatever games happen to be on that day. And so, every single game is, so I'm using the Betfair odds because you'd think that they're the closest to the exchange, and you're going to take that as the purest reflection that you can find. But every single market is priced up as 106% book. So that's not bad. It's pretty consistent across. It's exactly the same across every match.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. But when you convert the odds into, decimals, or then into percentage, what do they call it? Probabilities. Some of the ones, when you look at them, you see a team like Italy are, 1 point, whatever they are, 1 to 2 in the first game against Turkey. And then you see that, okay, that's a 75% expectation to win. You're like, oh God, that seems awfully high now in comparison. So some of the matches are actually, you think you see a bit of value, and then you convert it into the expected probability, and you think, maybe actually those odds aren't so good. So I'm not finished it yet. I'll share it with the group once I've done it, but it's
interesting to see it. Yeah,
it's just interesting to look at.
Yeah, definitely share that though, LB. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, well, who would you say? I mean, obviously, I know now because I was looking at them. Who are the biggest priced teams in any of the games? It's like if you're going to take the biggest outsider anywhere in the competition.
Well, I suppose you didn't like the look of Finland now, so I assume North Macedonia are probably the biggest outsider.
I was thinking, North Macedonia are just odds.
And then Hungary are in group of death, so you'd expect them to be kind of the widest odds as well.
Yeah, that's right. North Macedonia in Amsterdam against the Netherlands is the biggest outsider. 17-1 with most bookies. So they've got a 5% chance of winning that match if you convert the odds back to probability. It's obviously slightly better than that because the bookies cut is put into there as well. So yeah, 5%. I mean, if there's probably one upset that's not going to happen, I'd say it's North Macedonia beating the Netherlands in Amsterdam. But they're the three: Finland, Hungary, and North Macedonia are the three least likely to win if you're looking at just the odds. So.
Are we having our Finland bet anyway? You've had a few days to mull it over.
Yeah.
John Keane was giving you a bit of abuse.
Explain what it is again.
Right?
I don't think you won't get a point. Is that the?
Yeah. So actually, now I've pulled up the stats on it here, right? So Finland Russia are expected 60% to win that game against them. I should probably just look what the bookies have this priced up as. I'm sure there's an odds there.
It's a difficult.
Surely you'll give me 10-1, will you?
Where am my foot? I'll give you 10-1. Gary's some man for that. Take my bet and take it at the odds either side. Let me go into it here.
Well, let's ask the viewers watching in. So, for anybody who hasn't seen our Euros preview, Liam thinks that Finland won't get a point in their group, and I think that Finland are actually going to do well, and they'll probably finish third and have a chance of qualifying. So, he won't. Well, I've asked him to give me odds on basically Finland getting a point in their group, and he's been bottling it for 3 days now. So. Anyone with an idea of odds, throw them in there, or a forfeit, throw them into the comments, and we can try and land on something.
Yeah,
I would have thought it would be somewhere between like 2-1 and 3-1, maybe a bit outside that.
Yeah,
I'll take 5-1. So thanks, lads.
I could say if you did it up with the bookies, it'd be about 5-2, but I don't know. I just have to. I don't know. I'm not mad on it. You're too keen for it, Gary. That's my hesitation.
I just want to give a bit of entertainment to our viewers, like, you know.
What group are they in again? Group
B, isn't it?
Group B, yeah. So to finish bottom, okay. Well, they're 4-11 to finish bottom. So,
and sir, call a 4-1 to get a point.
That is such a ridiculous jump.
I'll have 25 quid on with you. Friendly bet.
Yeah. I think we'll leave that one go, Gary. Yeah, your generous odds in your own favour. I'm not going to bite on them.
Well, I thought I'd been sound. Like, I'm letting you haven't come up with a line yet on it, so.
I don't want to take the bet. That's why I haven't come up with a line.
All right, you'd be a buzzkill, so.
Yeah,
you're definitely been generous on your side of those odds anyway, Gar.
I mean, how quickly he moved from 10-1 into 4-1. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's probably an even money bet. Like, that's the thing. Maybe like 6-4. But I'm just trying to. I just don't want to shaft you by giving you too low an odd. So
what way, LB, did it work out with you at the dog track that time, where you went up to back a dog and the bookie at the side of the track basically said he'd give you whatever odds you wanted?
Yeah, so you know, like after changing the odds, they'll wipe the chalkboard down, and then he's writing up the next one. So I had picked trap 4, and I walked up, and just as I walked up, your man had wiped trap 4. But I said to his buddy, I was like, "Oh, can I get or try to quit on trap 4?" And then he looked up and he's like, "What odds is trap 4?" And your man goes, "Give him whatever odds he wants." And I was like, "Can I have my 20 quid back, please?" There's no way that dog was going to win.
The money was already handed over. All you want.
Absolute mold. So.
And as far as I recall, they were right with their decision to give you any
completely.
odds.
I mean, if there's on track bookies know their stuff, do you know what I mean? There's no way that they're giving you those kind of odds. I'd say he just wiped it off the board so that nobody bothered backing it. But I had mistimed handing over.
You probably didn't think anyone was, out of the loop
Yeah.
enough to back it at that stage. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a dog like the thing out of The Simpsons. I forget what it was called. Just hobbling along.
On the little wheelchair thing, like.
Yeah. So, didn't win that bet anyway.
They're just coming out here now for the second half in the game, the LAFC and New York.
What do you think, lads, of backing over 1.5 goals in this match?
What do I think it's priced at?
No, I don't want to look. All right, yeah, we'll go for it that way if you want. What odds would you fancy it at?
6 to 4.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably lower than that, but I'd back it at 6 to 4.
Oh Jesus, yeah, it's 1.9, like 90% return. If you back
1.9, so that's just inside evens, like 9 to 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the way the first half went, like the first 15 minutes were fairly exciting end to end, and then there was a 15-minute lull, and then towards the end of the first half, essentially LA were just on top. So I'd probably give it 5 or 10 minutes, because I think if there's a goal, there might be 2. And if there isn't a goal in the first, like let's say 10 minutes of the second half, you might get a good bit of value there, Slot. So personally, I'd hold off for probably about 55 to 60 minutes and then pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, certainly by 55 minutes, I'd say even by 50 minutes, it's going to be, even money for 2 goals. I've just seen a few of the MLS games that they're not the biggest first half goal of a league, like considering, I would say, the amount of goals that seem to occur per game versus the amount of goals in the first half of games. Like, they definitely seem more second half heavy than other leagues. And I know, like, we've said that most football leagues are, there's more goals in the second half. There seems to be more goals in the second half of games than the first half. I think that's pretty common knowledge, like, but it seems even more extreme, I find, than the MLS.
I think more than anything, it's the kind of first goal. Like, the first goal dictates a lot of it. If there's a goal in the first 10 minutes, the games turn into 3-2 or 4-2 or something like that. They're just goal fests. And then if there isn't a goal until like 70 minutes, the games end 1-1, So I think that when there's one goal, the team's going to go to plan B and start attacking, rather than, if you watch the Premiership, even if a team is behind, they'll kind of stick to their plan A for a lot longer, and then towards the end of the game, they might start going a bit gung-ho. But in the MLS, I think it's the team that goes down just goes all out attack, and then they either equalise or they get hit on the counter attack.
They kind of tilt a bit, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I just did up the stats there. So would you say that it's a fair thing to put like a double chance treble in the 3 Finland games? But obviously, like, so Denmark and draw, Russia and draw, Belgium and draw, treble would be a fair approximation of Finland to get no points.
Well, if it's double chance, then they'd be getting potentially 1 point in each of those games, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, that doesn't make sense then. Sorry, yeah. Because the odds of that are absolutely dismal. I was looking at it going, it can't be real. But yeah, no, what you said makes sense.
Yeah,
so
that's that they won't get a win rather than that they won't get a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you back the other team's double chance, that's your, and then invert it, that's your odds or probability, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be it, yeah. But
No, because I mean, it's just backing the other teams to win.
no, yeah, but exactly. If you just backed Russia to win, Belgium to win, and Denmark to win.
Yeah, not double chance. Yeah, because the double.
No, because the bet. But the bet is for Finland not to get a point. So if you don't back,
to get the point. That's why.
Yeah.
It's if you back the 3 individually. If you back the other 3 individually to win, and then your total stake is. Oh no!
No, it's you're not taking the draw into account there.
No, because if they draw, they get a point, and then you win the bet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's double chance. The 3 teams double chance, and then you just invert it. So if it was, I don't know, let's say the 3 double chances, ended up being, I don't know, 1-2, then you should be giving me 2-1.
2-1.
Nice early corner here now. So there's 4 minutes into the second half. Oh! New York City nearly took the lead. So New York City got a corner, went in, got headed out to the edge of the 18-yard box. I didn't see the player who it was, but left footer caught it on the volley. It was going into the corner. The keeper made a great save out for another corner, but it would have been a worldy, like 25 yards volley going right into the bottom corner. So it's actually a pity it didn't go in because it was such a good strike.
It's making me want to get on this over 1.5 bet. Pretty sharpish.
I know you like your stats, lads. Are the stats in favour of backing a goal here?
As in the in-play stats, you mean?
Oh, ref.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's... I mean, there's what... there's only been 10 shots with 5 on target. It's a bit low on that side. So I'm more going with the heavy weighting of MLS goals coming in the second half, and that I've just seen a fair few MLS games that have ended with over 1.5 or over 2.5 goals that were 0-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
And even the one that we spoke about a while ago, one of the MLS games that we covered not so long ago, it was like 0-0 halftime, and then it was 1-1. Between about 55 and 60 minutes, it just went from 0-0 to 1-1. Like it does seem to kind of go that way, where I guess a bit like what you were saying, Gary, once a team goes down 1-0, they just kind of throw caution to the wind of it and go for it. And then when it went back to 1-1, when it got to 1-1 that game, we were kind of expecting that to continue, and it died down a bit. But certainly over 1.5 seems pretty common, even in games that are 0-0 halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, if I wasn't already invested in the draw, I don't know whether this is because me being a bit like rose tinted glasses because I was going to or I fancied City beforehand, but like I'd say New York City is the value bet here, because as I said, the first 15 minutes they were well in the game. The second kind of 15 minutes of the first half, it was just a scrappy game overall. Then they were dominated by LA, but the first 6 minutes of the second half, it's been all New York City. The keeper has made an absolute world-class save from that volley, but they've also had a really dodgy referee decision go against them. So the edge of the 18-yard box, the striker did a shimmy and moved the ball, and the defender body checked him, and the ref just waved play it on. But I thought it should have been a free kick right up, kind of 19 yards out in a nice position, and the ref waved play on. So if I was having a bet, I think that New York to win would be the bet I'd be placing. I don't know what odds they are. Probably about 3 or 4 to 1 still, are they? 4 to 1 at the minute.
4 to 1.
So
yeah.
I've just based
I
on
think
you
that's the value
there,
bet.
Gary. I've gone New York and over 1.5 at 10 to 1.
That must be big, yeah.
Yeah. Just that they'll go 1-0 up, LA will chase and they'll catch them out on the counter, win 2-0.
Yeah, I think it's the value bet. Now, obviously, you've got the danger that Vea and Rossi click, but apart from those two players, LA are fairly average from what I've seen. Joe, when they get the ball into Vea's feet, he's creating, and into Rossi's feet, like he's creating as well. But if they can't get it to those two players,
when they were injured, Gary, and Los Angeles were tired, like they were just so bad without those two guys. So yeah, I'd agree with that analysis.
And City do look dangerous going forward as well. They're moving the ball kind of quickly. Their transition from defense to attack is really impressing me here. So I'll say that Vea and Rossi nearly linked up there, but thankfully it went out. But yeah, like I think that 10 to 1 seems like a good shout, LB. But I said 4 to 1 for New York. This is another one.
The 4 to 1 is a smart bet.
Yeah, this is another one where we've talked about the kind of the algo, like if you watch this game neutral, like we're watching it, New York aren't a 4-1 shot; they're a 6-4 shot. Do you know that way? But if you're pricing it based on an algorithm with the home team and maybe some possession stats or shots on target stats or something like that factored into the algorithm, then they become a 4-1 shot. So it's the value of watching the game that you're actually betting in play with, rather than just watching the Betfair stats and betting that way.
When you were saying that, Gary, and saying they were a 6-4 shot, it was kind of like, is that fully considering the draw, like this game just sits at 0-0, or they go up 1-0 and concede? But even draw no bet, they're 2-1, which there does seem to be value there from what you're saying, like that. If you think they should be 6-4 to win, then 2-1 for a draw no bet seems like a decent shout as well, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah. Or and they're probably evens double chance if that's the. Oh, I'll say that LA have just taken the lead.
Oh, Gary, thanks for the tip.
Well, no, no,
I'm only messing. I'm a minute behind you here, though, so it's going to take me a while to catch up. It's just
the first time that they've got in behind. I need to actually see it again because I was too busy.
Did you get on the goals, lads?
Yeah, I got it at 6-5 a few minutes ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I put 20 on it to win 24.80. So it's offering me 32 back now on 20, but I'm going to let it ride.
No, this early, it's ideal, really.
Yeah, given everything we've said about New York, you'd have to imagine they're going to push on. And if they don't score, they'll concede, that sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a banker now, hopefully. But even at that, the first time they've got in behind, the LA have got in behind the New York defense, and the winger was trying to actually cut the ball back towards the 18-yard box, but it got a deflection into the left winger Bard's path, and he tapped it in from the edge of the 6-yard box. But I said it was a ball into Rossi, and as I said a few minutes ago, when Rossi and Vega get the ball, they look dangerous, but the rest of the team hadn't. Rossi put the winger in, I don't have his name, and then he got lucky with his cross because he was trying to pull it back and it got deflected into Bird's pass. But New York are on the attack again here. So as you said, Slats, it's starting to open up now, and New York will either score or probably get caught in the counter attack, one or two.
In the other bet I did, I had Rossi to score. And I knew obviously because I knew the goal was coming, and he was just standing out in the wing. I was like, "What is he doing out there? Get in the box, will you?" But no luck, he stayed out there. It was actually a very well worked goal, though. Looking at it,
it was well worked, yeah. But it's the first time they've done that. Definitely in the second half, they had a similar chance, probably 35 minutes into the first half. But it's still all to play for here. I said, I know you were on the win, LB, and I apologize for that, but I'm on the draw. So, and I think that's what I said. LA go win.
Pure greed on my part. I should have just taken the goals bet, but at the end of the season, you just go for the greedy ones.
Oh, there's a penalty shout here. The ref has given a goal kick, but it might go to VAR.
I'm seeing it suspended the market, so it's
so let me see it here.
Who's the penalty shout for, Gary? Sorry,
it's for LAFC. It looked in real play or in live like it was a dive, and they showed a replay and it looked like an even worse dive. But the ref hasn't given a booking, which is outrageous. Like he got by the centre half and then dived into the box looking to deceive the ref for a penalty, and the ref doesn't give the penalty and doesn't give a yellow card. He definitely should be booked there.
I don't think it happens enough that sort of a booking, and of course there's the possibility that a player just tripped and wasn't diving but just tripped over themselves or whatever, but sometimes it's so blatant and they still don't get booked for the dive.
Yeah, but I actually think if he had stood his ground, he would have scored. He would have been 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Now, an acute angle, but he definitely would have had an opportunity to get a shot on goal or lay it back to one of his teammates coming in from outside the box. But I can understand that in instances where, there's like a little bit of contact, like shoulder to shoulder contact, and someone goes down a little bit easy, the ref isn't going to give a booking. But there where there was zero contact and it was just purely to deceive him, it should definitely
to me, it's a slippery slope. Like, for the interest of the game, we've had arguments about this, Gary, for years. Like, the whole, there was contact and he went down. I mean, just because there's contact, you shouldn't go down. And I mean, I think if what you're saying there, someone goes down easy, it's a booking. You should be trying to stay on your feet. And if you go down soft, that just give the yellow card. You do that 2 or 3 games at the start of the season, there's no more dives. That's the end of it.
I agree with that. If the fallout from that is that you give a couple too many yellow cards for players that genuinely tripped, that the ref gets it wrong, like, I think that's a reasonable downside to actually trying to stamp out diving. Yeah,
big time. And as well, it's so obvious. Like, when someone gets and the one that sticks in my mind is, and I probably forget his, I hope I'm not mixing up his name, but Valencia for Man United, when they were playing Rangers in the Champions League, and he was running down the wing and they just clashed legs. Remember that? Like, and he broke his leg really badly. No foul. It wasn't even an attack. He just badly broke it. Like, when someone is hurt, they go down, it's a legitimate injury. And when it's not, all the rest of the tackles, you just kind of shrug your shoulders because he's milking it. So I think a natural fall is so clear to anyone who's ever played sports. Obviously, referees would be included in there. So I think just,
I'd like to see a striker desperately trying to keep his balance to avoid a yellow card. Like, he kind of trips over his heel a bit and is really desperate to kind of stay on his feet.
Do you know who one that did it for me a lot was Mbappe. I saw it when in the games against Man City, and also in the last PSG game of the season when we did the stream for that, Gary. He was going out of his way to not fall over, and it was actually quite refreshing to see.
I've always found, I don't know if you would agree with this, but I've always found that Messi did that as well. Like, he'd nearly be getting the ankles hacked off him sometimes, and he still is trying to dribble through the box. Like,
I'd agree with that too, actually.
He was never one to go down easy. Like, he'd try, and finally he might fall over and get the penalty, but he'd be trying to get the goal as much as he could, and trying to stay on his feet in order to do that. Like,
no, I'd agree with that, yeah.
I don't know if you were finished with your Mbappe point that I put across to you.
No, it was the same point, yeah, that he would be very much trying to stay up, and it's refreshing to see.
Yeah, it is refreshing, and you instantly have respect for the player when you see them trying to do it. And I don't think there'd be many fans of the sport out there that would, be disappointed if there were more bookings for the players that do go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Game is in a little bit of a lull now with that goal. It's kind of, New York have gone out of it after dominating for the first kind of 10 minutes of the second half. I think the goal was just a sucker punch, so hopefully they can regroup and get back into it. They're just on the attack here now down the left-hand side. There's nobody really getting into the box for them. And kind of looked like Man City earlier, where all the players are outside of the 18-yard box. No one's trying to burst in.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, the swing of this game for both of these sides. Like, they're both sitting in ninth in their respective conferences, but it's all still really close. Like, if New York won this, it'd put them up to, like, joint third. I mean, on goal difference, they could be between third and seventh if they did climb up there. And, if LA hold on, it'll put them up to fourth place. And, from ninth, like, they're both sitting in ninth, so the win really shoots them up back into the reckoning. A defeat kind of keeps them down toward that kind of, not the bottom of the conference, but below mid-table. It's kind of a big swing for a cross-conference sort of game.
Yeah,
very early days.
Two big tackles going in. Yeah, it's an interesting one how leagues pan out when the games are, when you've got a playoff at the end of it and you don't really need. I wonder, does it, in the player's mind, do the games individually have slightly less value because you just need to be in the top 8, and from there, then you're even in the play-ins, as they call them.
Yeah, I think there definitely is an aspect of that in the American sports where it's all about just reaching the playoffs, and especially if you have a shaky start to the season, and that like your top seeding is gone, it's just like, right, well, we only have to finish in the top 7, 8, 9, whatever, if you're talking about NBA or NFL or MLS. So I think it definitely has a bearing on the mindset.
I know in the
French league,
French league rugby, I've always considered it the same. It's like the top half of the league gets into the playoffs, so it's really just about finishing there rather than actually winning the league. But what it seems to happen is it puts much bigger bearing on your home games. Like, it's all about winning your home games. If you win all your home games, you'll probably get into the playoffs. I don't know, does that hold true for MLS, where they put a bigger weight in on their home games or even on their kind of conference games, in order to get into that sort of position?
A triple substitution being made here now by New York, so they obviously be in business trying to get back into it. I think they're just taking off a defender and put on a winger. So
I was going to ask, what way those
move anyway
substitutions have gone, but that's interesting to see. Yeah, they're really going for it. So
goal as well, triple substitution with 25 minutes to go. Not your usual 87th minute, throw on a 6'5" and number forward.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. Go for it. And we've kind of spoke about, like, I think if I was a coach in the MLS, I would be like, I wouldn't really care about the draws, if you know what I mean. I would be trying to go all out to win it. So if you want to win the game, you need to put players on with half an hour to go. Like, there's no point in sticking them on after 80 minutes. So.
Again, especially cross-conference games like this, because it doesn't really affect them massively if LA get 3 points. It's not
exactly,
no like 6 point swing kind of.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Yeah, in the cross conferences, because it doesn't matter what they get. It doesn't harm your chances in any way, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not about stopping them getting 3 the way it would be in the European leagues, like, where it's also important to stop them getting the points. You can go for broke and go for the 3 points, and if you get 0, it's not massively different than 1 anyway.
Yeah.
Well, two wingers and a striker have come on here anyway, and one of the wingers got the ball there down the left-hand side, and hasn't created an opportunity, but got a throw in that's kind of leading to a sustained spell of pressure for New York. So fair play to the coach for making those substitutions. As we said, it'd be easy just to sit there and let the game kind of dwindle out, especially away from home. So
when you were saying like 2 wingers and a striker came on, I'd love the thought that like 2 wingers came on, for 2 centre backs, and now they've like 4 wingers and 3 strikers on the pitch.
No, it was a kind of a like for striker for striker, winger for winger,
and then a winger,
centre half for a winger. So.
Yeah, but that's still a big swing in positioning, like.
Yeah, no, it's good to see though. Said a goal for New York City will get my bet back on track. Although I think I still need 5 corners, so I could do with a goal from the corner to boost the bet back into life.
3 consecutive corners leading to a goal.
Yeah.
The thing with the corners, you never really feel out of it. Like 5, it's still, I'd say there's games where there's 5 corners between 75 and the full time. So I'd never feel, you never give up on that one. If it was 3 goals or something, you just
what's the line there? Is it 9.5 or 10.5?
9.5 is what I.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, for better or worse, it does feel possible for a long time. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but like in especially these games where there's only a goal in it, because the team that's behind are constantly attacking. So the more attacks, the more shots, the more chance of a corner. Whereas if LA were 4-0 up now, you'd kind of lay even one corner happening in the last few minutes, because you're not expecting that many attacks.
Yeah, there's no pressure for it.
I'm not sure if you looked at the odds, right? I'll give you the odds here. So over 5.5 corners is 1.03.
Oh, goal, New York.
Oh, sorry. That's great for my bet, actually.
That's great for my bet as well.
Well, yours is in.
They really, really deserve that. I have to say, like they didn't deserve to be 1-0 down based on the start of the second half, and it kind of hit them for six. For the last, for 10 minutes after the goal, they couldn't put a pass together. But that triple substitution has made them turn around. I actually think it's one of the substitutes that's got the goal as well.
To be honest, if a coach rolls the dice like that and it pays off, I just full of admiration for having the
always root for that. Yeah,
gumption to do it.
The risk taker.
Yeah,
gumption. Jesus, it's a long time since I heard that word.
Another word, but then I thought if anyone is watching from the US for this MLS game, it's before the watershed. That's actually a lovely goal. I'm only getting around to it.
Yeah, really good goal.
Yeah, delighted. Okay, so before that bit of excitement, right? Over 5.5 corners is 50-1 on. Over 6.5 corners is 3-1 on. Over 7.5 corners is 4-5, right? Over 8.5 corners and over 9.5 corners. I won't say what the odds are, but what would you say they are?
8.5 going from 4-5, it must be 6-4, and then up to 3-1. That doesn't seem right. 6-4 and 4-1.
Yeah, no. 7-2 and 16-1.
Jesus, that's a big swing from 4-5 for one less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game has just turned so open. Slats, you got your bet up, didn't you?
Yeah, I got mine in. Yeah, 6-5 for 2 second half goals there. Yeah.
What is another goal? Because I actually, even though I'm hoping for the draw, I think that there's a goal coming.
It's
so actually for my
45.
Nice 20 minutes. For my bet, actually, that I didn't realize it, but that was actually perfect because I still needed New York to score twice. So there was the risk that they'd go 1-0 up and just sit on it. And then obviously any other version with them scoring 1 goal or no goals didn't win it for me. So now at least the over 1.5 part is in now. So I'm actually much better off having gone to be 1-1 now than instead of 0-on.
We talk about that sometimes with the win and both teams to score, and the team you have to win goes down 1-0, and being an optimist, you'd be like, okay, well, I needed that team to score anyway. But once you get back to 1-1, it does become it does swing in your favor. And like you're saying, if they had gone up 1-0, they definitely could have tried holding on to that, being the underdog. But
yeah. LA have just made a double substitution there, but the goal scorer for LA, Bard, was taken off, and he had a few words with the coach there that didn't seem the friendliest. So that's an interesting thing to look at.
The only thing, Gary, I like those odds right now of 4-5, and it's gone up actually to 5-6 for another goal. But once you get into like the last 10 minutes or certainly the last 5 minutes, and I feel like when a team have been down 1-0 and equalised, or a team have been up 1-0 and conceded, both of those teams can start kind of thinking, right, let's not risk anything here. Let's hold on for the draw. Maybe MLS is different, and like we said, a cross-conference game where we're coughing up the 3 points isn't that bad because it's not affecting you. Maybe it's different, but
you could score here. Oh, nearly. So they didn't nearly score, but basically it was a 3-on-3. The defenders were a little bit out of position, and the winger went to play the ball through, and it just got intercepted. But if he hadn't got that interception, essentially it would have been a 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. So, but now LA are on the attack here, and they look dangerous here. So this game has turned into end-to-end. It's mad. It's been like just so compartmentalized where it's either end-to-end attacking or just really tedious. So I'm going through a really attacking phase here now. Oh. One of the substitutes there got a great shot. He just wasn't alert. Like he was standing on the edge of the 6-yard box. The ball dropped to him. All he needed to do was swing a leg at it. And you can just watch to roll by him. You think that
I've just seen that almost chance that you were talking about, Gary, and I see why you reacted like that. There was actually, it was probably no ball on for the winger who played it through, but God, if that ball had gotten past any of the Los Angeles defenders, it was a 2 on the keeper nearly at that stage.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so you can't, he was 40 yards from goal, so it seems weird you're getting excited from it, but as you said, two people on or 2 on 1 with the goalkeeper, you'd expect them to make some sort of opportunity out of it anyway.
Yeah.
This game's got end to end, so I might actually get in on it because there's a few corners I'm actually at risk of losing, so I might have a look at what a hedge would be here.
You were saying, Slash, that the games can they'll settle for the draw maybe late on, but also that's when the odds start to skyrocket for a goal. You get such a difference in value between 80 and 82 than you would between 70 and 70 something,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but once it swings over that even mark, like it's, when it's odds on, it kind of gradually, builds up to that. But yeah, once you get up to evens, and then before you know it, it's like 2-1, 3-1,
Yeah.
You just think though, with a 1-1, there's both sides. The team that have led don't want to risk getting nothing from the game, and the team that were behind, are kind of happy to take something from the game themselves.
Although just with the kind of the reputation and the attitude and whatever LAFC, I can't imagine them sitting back and thinking, we'll take the draw here at home, against New York.
And I think for New York, I mean, they're kind of pot committed, really, having thrown on a winger for a defender,
Yeah,
they're
sitting back,
winger
not
to
an
go
option
back into the defensive line, like.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
New York
off.
are just giving away a needless corner there. Like it kind of the defender and the goalkeeper got mixed up. So I said that's good for me that there's been another corner. So that's 6 corners in the game. I need another 4 in the last 15 minutes. Again, if I was pick a winner, I'd probably go LA. Although, so the referee or the linesman has given a free out. Basically, the centre half, who was the last man back, had the ball at his feet and he kind of dilly-dallied on it. And the striker came in and took the ball off him. But there didn't look to be much wrong with it. Like, I think it's soft. But basically, if the ref hadn't given the free kick, he would have been 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper was at the edge of the 18-yard box. So it could have been lobbed or anything. So New York are starting to dominate now. Did you just see that chance, did you?
No, I just saw the corner mix-up. I see what you mean there as well. It was hot-headed or something, I don't know. But it was a silly corner to give away.
From the clear into that corner, you'll see what I was talking about with the...
Yeah.
There's actually been another corner now. That's lovely. So up to 7 corners. So New York have just got a corner. So down to 3 more corners and no more goals will get my bet up. So fingers crossed for that.
I saw that chance there. So that was a bizarre call, no?
Yeah, I haven't seen the replay of it, so I don't know whether. Like, I just saw it live, so I don't know whether it should have been given or not. But it seemed soft to me watching it live. So
yeah.
Our mate Taylor Holmes just had a volley there that's gone over. I think he's in all of our fantasy teams.
Yeah. My fantasy team is dire. Not picking up any points at all. The 9.5 corners is now going to 5-2, which is a huge
That was the one that was
based on
16-1, was it?
those 2 corners. Yeah. Yeah.
Great chance for New York. Oh.
After one corner, it went into 7.5, so like 6.5 to 1 in the fraction odds. So seems to be a very volatile market.
Oh my God, the goalkeeper. Oh my God. Like,
something to look forward to now.
so basically, like, the ball got passed back to the goalkeeper, and he had the ball at his feet, nobody near him, and he just passed the ball out to Carlos Vela. So Vela was like, there was basically a 2-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and they managed to mess it up. So there was, like, if you had paused it when the goalkeeper gave it away, I'd say you wouldn't have got a bet on at 1-20 for Vela to score, and somehow they New York managed to keep the ball out of the net. So, but
when you're saying
I don't know what the goalkeeper was at.
There was 2 LA attackers just against the keeper, or a defender kind of got back in the mix.
So there was 2 against the keeper, and then a defender managed to get in. So I'm looking at it here.
I think in normal, 2 against the keeper is 2-1-0. I'm just seeing it there. Oh wow.
Yeah. So like basically one of the New York, I think it was Rossi, went in and pressured the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper passed the ball out to Vea. So Vea got the ball at the 18-yard box. One of his mates in the box, and no New York player back. And then he kind of dallied on it, and a New York player come back and combined with the goalkeeper to keep it out of goal. But
the way you said one of his mates, so like one of the lads was in the box, you know.
Well, I assume they're all friends. Like,
yeah. So that was
like,
strange.
I mean,
to keep her up to.
The one player on the pitch that, you know, for LA you wanted to fall for, and he doesn't take advantage of it. But this game is still out then. Now New York are attacking here. Just the final ball seems to be slightly off.
5-1 for 2 more corners and 1 more goal. 10 minutes. Very tempting.
2 more corners and 1 more goal.
Yeah.
Could be a corner here, so if you're going to back it, I'd back it. No, it was a block, but it went out for a throw instead of a corner. But actually, it got kept in. It didn't go out for a throw.
Like you said, I'm quite heavily invested now on different. I've got a bet with New York to win and a bet with LA to win. Unfortunately, I've ended up in that situation. So another goal seems like I'm just doubling up on needlessly. So I might just let it slide. But I think it's good value, 5-1.
Need 3 corners. I think I'll stick with my original bet.
For anyone who's watching now, who's just tuned in, just make sure to let us know in the comments if you're watching the game, what your thoughts are on it, or if you have any bets on the games. We'd love to discuss those with you. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Do us a big favor. This is opening back up big time here, isn't it?
That's it. The game feels like it's a cup final. This is more attacking than the Champions League final was. It's just end to end.
Yeah.
Like both teams are kind of going. Oh, it's weird. But it's been a really entertaining game. I've really enjoyed watching it, to be honest. Just as we say that, there's a break for an injury here now, but yeah, I think that Vea missed chance is going to be massive.
You can't miss at that stage of a game at home that much of an opportunity.
Yeah, and like not even miss. He didn't even get a proper shot off. Joe, if he had took it first time, like if he took it first time, the keeper was at about the penalty spot when he made the pass, wasn't he? Like he definitely wasn't close to his goal. Like
You just
I like Vela. Sorry, go on, Slats.
Oh, just you expect, professional players to capitalize from that opportunity. I know they won't always, but when you see it happening, you're just like, how is this not gonna end up in a goal here? Like,
yeah.
The game is back on the way now.
Have you seen the clip of Ibrahimovic, and the interviewer tells him that Vela's broken his single season record for MLS goals? Ibrahimovic goes like, "Oh, what age is he?" And they're like, "Oh, 26." And he's like, yeah, but he's 26 and he plays in the MLS. At 26, I was playing the Champions League final, so I don't really care. And then he just laughs. Quite dismissive.
I heard one recently about him where when he moved into the MLS and LeBron James sent him a Lakers jersey, and apparently he signed the jersey and sent it back to LeBron James. I thought that was brilliant. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I thought that was class. And it does sound like he would do. Like
that's actually a great story. But like, as I was watching the game here, so New York had a 4-on-3, and the winger Tarab Shahidi like slowed up, and I was like, "What are you doing, slowing up?" Next thing, from 30 yards, he takes a shot and hits the outside of the post. Would have been an absolute worldie of a goal. But like, Joe, I don't know whether he always had a shot in his mind or what the story was, but if he had played with a bit of pace, he surely would be able to play one of his teammates in. I instead slowed it up, and I was just like, you're an absolute idiot for, letting the defenders get back. And then he used one of the defenders to try and curl it around the corner and hit the post. So you're probably just going to see that now, LB. But
yeah. It's so frustrating when a player slows it up like that. A foot wide, not even.
Yeah, like, but it hit the post, not even a foot wide. Yeah. Oh my God, the ref. Red card for New York, which seems like an unbelievably harsh red card. So it's a second yellow, but the defender actually gets his toe on the ball here. Like, it's one of those where the striker's gone by him or the winger's gone by him, and he kind of toe pokes the ball as he's tackling the player. Like, it wasn't.
Is that going to go to bar review?
I don't think so. Like, I mean, it was a foul, so there's nothing you can really. It's just very harsh from the referee. Like, I don't see why he feels the need to give it a second yellow in that scenario. Like, it just. Like, there wasn't malicious. He's not sliding in. He doesn't go off his feet. He's making an honest attempt to get the ball and is slightly late. And the LA player nearly kept his footing as well. So
the
just
crowd
seems like,
are going nuts. They're delighted with the card.
Yeah, but it just seems like an awful decision. Like, so now straight away, LA have made a substitution and brought on an extra attacking player.
Actually, in fairness, the guy, I don't know his name, the guy for LA who went down there, I mean, that's a pretty good demonstration of someone who's trying to not go down.
Exactly, yeah. He was fouled and tried to stay on his feet.
Crawling along the ground almost, trying to get back up on his feet. So, it was a harsh red. It was a harsh yellow, in fact. Yeah, it was strange call.
I mean, Joe, the ref didn't need to give that yellow. This stage of the game, 4 minutes left, just give him a warning or something. Like, don't ruin the game. So now this could actually work out all right for me if New York all sit back and LA are going all out for the win. There might be a few corners because obviously that's all I only need 3 corners. But like, it's been such a good game up until this, and now the ref has just ruined it by giving that soft yellow card. Like. He's just taking the whole flow out of the game as well, because it was end to end, really, really, high paced game, and just being like the stoppage for the the red card, and the stoppage for the free kick, the stoppage for the substitution that took place then as well. So
free kick is taking an age.
You'd be expecting easily 5 minutes injury time here, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'd say 4 minutes. Yeah.
Did you think that the 7 minutes in the final, the Champions League final earlier, was a bit over the top?
No, I thought that was all right because De Bruyne was down for a good while and get out for a corner. New York have just got a corner, so I'm down to needing 2 corners, which
that gives
hopefully
you
I can get.
You needed that one there, like.
Yeah.
Just for anyone who's tuned in, by the way, watching us on YouTube or Facebook, let us know your thoughts on that red card in the Los Angeles New York City game. Let us know your thoughts. Gary and myself probably both think that it was a bit needless. Maybe it wasn't a harsh call, but it was certainly unnecessary. But let us know what you think. And if you're a Los Angeles fan, of course, you're going to appreciate it, but try and be objective. Yeah.
It's fairly harsh. In New York, like one of the players that they brought on in that triple substitution after an hour, looks like they've just taken him off, even though I thought he did well. But they're obviously just bringing on another defensive player, you know.
Kind
So
of
they brought on centre half. Yeah, it makes sense, but like I thought Mango, who come on, I thought he played well. Oh, New York have scored.
Oh, yes.
New York scored from the corner, so cross into the box, a header knocked on from the front post to the back post and tapped in at the back post. So ruins my bet, but I actually am happy with that because they didn't deserve to. Like, they didn't deserve to be losing initially. Oh, he's offside, is he? I think he's offside.
Oh no, let me get to my cash out.
Yeah, I think this gets given as offside.
I think it's been given, but
It's been given.
LB, what odds did you get on that? Was it like 7-1 or something?
Well, I'm watching it live here, and
It's gone back to.
it's offside.
Oh, is
It's
it?
gone back to draw at 6-1 here. Still not suspended.
Yeah,
So-
I'm seeing 11-2 for the draw.
Okay, it looks like it might be. It looks
Los
like it might be
Angeles at
given.
180-1 here, not suspended. So I mean, if it's not if it's not given, I'd be getting on that for a small stake.
It's 6 minutes injury time I'm seeing here as well now.
Yeah, they've kicked off,
Back
but
up.
like, unless I'm absolutely blind, that looked a yard offside. Like,
Yeah, the game is back in play, so
LB, what odds did you get? You at halftime you went
10-1.
for New York to win and over 1.5.
yeah. I think both teams to score would have been huge odds. I got 10-1. Sorry, it was 9-1. I put 20 on. I won 200, so 9-1.
You haven't won yet, just to be.
I'm going to cash out as soon as it comes back. That bet is suspended for some reason, even though the match is back. So
yeah,
That
the
on
match
the
is back
exchange?
on. I actually want to see that again. I'm tempted to rewind it here and have a look at that, but because I must be missing a player somewhere. It looked to me. I'm actually going to rewind it here so I can see. So I'm out of action here for a while I rewind this back and see the goal. Oh,
I don't know why my bet is suspended. Like, it's needless suspension here. Delighted with that now. But if I can get the cash out or the win. What do you reckon it'll be cash out for if it's actually comes back? Well, I got a boost. So it's actually, I got 16.9. So 16-1, basically.
Class.
On that. Yeah. Thanks, Gary.
yeah, no better. It's actually, I said, New York deserve it from what I've seen.
We
It's
heard
hard
at
to
the
tell.
start of the show that you weren't here. Sorry, Gary. Gary was saying that he really thought New York were overpriced and that he backed the draw because, we thought they'd give LA a good run. And I actually said, they're probably sicken you down. They'll score the winner. And they've done that.
Well, I mean, there's still 4 minutes left, so I rewound it there to have a look at the goal again. And there was a player initially that I didn't see at the front post that could have kept him on, but I'd like to see, like, the angle I'm looking at it or was looking at it. You would be able to tell. I'd like to see the way they do it in the Premier League with the lines or whatever, just to see how close it was, because like when it's a millisecond after the defender heads it that the guy is offside, so it must be very, very close to.
I actually think the Premier League do themselves a disservice by putting those lines out there. They should just check, make the call, use the lines if they want, but I think the lines kind of creates antagonism with the fans.
Like I'm with you. I don't like the lines, and grand decisions being made. That's fine. I'm happy with that. But in this instance, just because it would have been so tight, you'd like to see it afterwards in the analysis, just to see, how far offside or onside he was. Like. So LA is going gung ho here now. Like New York have everybody back in their box, really. So
They offer you a cash out at all, LB, no?
No, hasn't come back from suspended.
Is that on the
Which is annoying because you can, and you can back the game. Oh no, suspended again here. You can back the game, like the markets are still live, but just not mine.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying.
Oh,
Yeah, you see that they start closing down some of the markets, yeah.
like it was a good save by the goalkeeper there. So I think you're safe enough now. The ball was put over the top. Trying to see who that is. It Rossi? Looks like it was Rossi. Right-footed shot. Keeper made a good save. And then when the ball went outside the box, there was a free kick given to New York. So they've got a free kick now in their own half. I assume they're going to waste more time. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds left. But the keeper, as I said, made a really good save there with his feet. New York have been silly there with the free kick. They've given the ball away. John, they should have been trying to hold on to possession and try and wind down the clock. So LA have it now, exactly 1 minute left, and it's just the centre half at about the halfway line. So long ball out to the winger here. Couldn't control it, out for a goal kick. So it's actually shocking control attempted control from the winger there.
Did you see in the build up to that, Gary? I didn't want to cut you off. It was probably around 93, late 93 minutes, nearly 94. New York got a free, and one of their players put the ball down really fast, and he shoved everybody forward, and then he just took the free kick and he just passed it to the side and then passed it back, and they completely wasted the opportunity. His face was like,
"What are you doing?
God's name are you doing?" Yeah, he spelled it out for them, and they just didn't do it. I'm delighted with that. Now that's a nice.
11 seconds left.
Lovely win.
And the ball is in the LA keeper's hands. So I'd say 1 more second and it should be blown up. Although the ref seems to be allowing 1 more LA attack. That's it. Should be it now. It's 10 seconds over. There hasn't been any stoppages, so I don't know why the ref is allowing this. And it's gone out for a goal kick to New York, so that should be it.
Surely,
yeah.
Ball's kicked there. It's full time.
Yeah, ref blown the whistle there, so I didn't even allow the kick out.
Lovely.
So that's it. Yeah, New York winner.
I went to the greed, and it paid off.
I think it is. Sorry, the match isn't over. The ref blew the whistle for something, but he is allowing the kick off. It's 40 seconds over time. I have no idea why the match is still going.
What is he doing?
That was where he'd let the goal kick be taken and then blew up. So yeah, it's over now. So yeah, that was a good bet to get on, LB. I'm actually racing to get on it myself, but overall, from what I've seen, New York deserved it. And as we said beforehand, they looked overpriced beforehand. They looked overpriced during the game. A lot of decisions have gone against them. It wasn't the yellow card. There should have been a few bookings for the LA players, but they've managed to overcome that adversity and still win. So that's a great win for them.
And for anyone who's watching the show for the first time, that's kind of what we like to do. We see, we watch the games live and try and find a discrepancy between the odds and because the odds, like Gary said, are usually priced kind of on an algo. They're flat line from kick-off to full time, and we're just trying to spot a bit of value in there and read the game a bit differently maybe and get a bit of money on. So we did that today with a little bit of success. So make sure to stick around for these shows. We'll be doing them. We do them every week, and that Gary spotted there at New York were overpriced and we got on. So cheers for that, Gary.
Yeah, there'd be no sign of Liam sharing his profit with me, but that's the way we like to do it anyway.
Yeah, profit share, the profit share model. It's a very entertaining game. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, the MLS halftime 0-0s and then second half goals is standing true as well. With 0-0 halftime and then 3 second half goals there.
Exactly, and it could have been 4 or 5 to be honest. The woodwork hit and things like that. So might be a strategy to invest in for. I wonder actually the odds on draw and like 0-0 halftime and over 2.5. I wonder what that would be as a double at the start.
You probably can't back it, but you could probably just back under 0.5 first half goals and then roll that on.
Probably.
Good value. We talked during the show about potentially these games count a little bit less because the teams know they've got the playoffs at the end of the season, but based on the celebrations there was no way that the New York players were taking this game as a free swing. They were pretty enthusiastic celebrations at the end.
Yeah, there was, but you must be buzzing when, like, again, travesty of a sending off.
That red card, I was thinking that.
Like, that just rile you up anyway, like,
Yeah. So any bets, Gary, that you're looking at over the coming days, or slats, in fact? Any basketball or racing bets that you got your eye on?
No, just that racing bet I called out earlier on for the Oaks. So Zidaha in the Oaks on Friday. Said there'd be an article up on SportsRunDown.com on Monday, which will kind of outline the reason why and things like that. But I have that on a 7-1 or 15-2, I think it might be. So looking forward to that. There probably won't be any other horse racing up after that because all my research will be going into next Friday and Saturday's racing because it's just top quality. So,
are you going to get down to the races?
No, unfortunately, the tickets are all sold out, and with COVID, the media side of things is restricted. So, so we watch at home or maybe go to a pub for one of the days of it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. Such a great day out. It's a shame that it's limited this year.
Yeah, especially because we've got the weather now as well. So
we'll get back there. And Slats, anything on the NBA tipster table that you feel like sharing?
Well, no, I mean it's good. There's 3 nights left, so I do it by the month. So I haven't released or calculated the 28th, and then we've the 29th, 30th, and 31st. Nights of NBA action still to go, but it was pretty close. The guy who was top for most of the month dropped to 3rd, and there's only a unit or unit and a half profit between the top 3, so it's pretty open and just that bit of excitement to see kind of who comes out on top of the month. Looking forward to see who manages to pull it off now.
Yeah. Just one thing for me before we wrap up. I'd spoken before about the Copa America, and I actually backed it today. So Uruguay to win the Copa America and Belgium to score the most goals in the Euros. So that's about 60-1. So I just threw that double on. I think looking at the teams, Argentina, for a long time now failed to deliver at the national level. Colombia and Brazil are second favourites. They're not too bad, but again, they tend not to be the sum of their parts. And then Colombia are having all sorts of problems. So I think Uruguay are probably overpriced. They're 9-1 still. So yeah, I got on that. So there's no accusations of aftertime, but I've backed them on their own, but backed that double today. So
it sounds like the sort of bet that's worth having recorded and documented.
Yeah, I want it out there that I got the
big time.
The favourites for the top scoring team. England are favourites. They've got a tough enough group, like a tight enough group that they're in. When we said we went through it on Thursday, I don't see them racking up massive scores in the group. The second favourites are France, and again, their group is pretty tough, the group of death. And then Belgium are the third favourites, but they're 13-2 to be top scoring nation. England and France are 4-1 and 5-1 or something like that. So, seems like a good price. Like I said, with the troubles that Colombia are having, they're still ahead of Uruguay in the Copa America odds, and it just seems like a mistake, to be quite honest. So, the season that their players have had, Cavani and Suarez. So that's my bit. So just wanted that on the record.
Yeah, the Galaxy game has just kicked off here now. LA Galaxy against San Jose. I know we're done, so we won't be covering this, but it should be an interesting watch.
Any bets on it, Gary?
So I've done a treble of over 9.5 corners, LA to win and Chicharito to score first. I think it's like 12-1. So did it for an interest, but as I said, we're we're not staying live. So hopefully I get a bit of a change of look off camera than on camera. With
I actually quite like San Jose. They've been very impressive this season so far. We called them out in the pre-season preview. Could they sort out their defense? And they seem to have just gone for score more goals than ever before, and that should solve it. So, this should be an exciting game as well. Especially if you're going to get a first half goal slash, that'd be nice. I don't have anything.
I'm looking at it here. It's only 1.3, so I mean I wouldn't be going near that now. But see how the first 20 minutes goes, and might be a bit of value there.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, we can wrap it up there. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe if you've been following the show or enjoying the show. And we will be back. We keep you posted on social media when we'll be back on air next. Plenty of sports coming up, so we'll plenty of content to share with you. Make sure to check out SportsRunDown.com as well for all our daily and weekly bets. So thanks for tuning in and have a good night.
Cheers.